Hey guys, I'm back with my second vlog. First, I just want to thank people who subscribe to me. That's wonderful, and I love that. Today's vlog is mostly going to be about the application and the web-based interview. It's kind of going to mostly be about my experience with them because there's a lot of videos out there that give you good advice, and I don't know how good my advice will be, but I'll try to throw a little bit in there. So I should probably start off by saying that this was my second time applying, so I basically had an idea of how it all worked. The last time I applied was for spring of 2014, so what's going on right now. And I did the application and I got to the web-based interview, but then I did not pass that. So like I said, this is my second time. I basically knew it was going to happen. And I think the applications came out on February 6th this year. And I was in class whenever they dropped, doing things I shouldn't be on my phone, sitting on Facebook and whatnot and not paying attention in class. So I saw that somebody wrote on there and said that the applications had been dropped, and obviously I was bummed, but I had an early day of classes, so I got home pretty quickly, and I was pretty nervous. I was freaking out. Like I said, I didn't get accepted last time, so I was really worried that it was going to happen again this time. So if you've applied before, I guess it should technically have your application saved from last time. I know it had mine still. I don't know if that changes though ever. So that made it really easy for me. But if you haven't applied before, don't freak out. It's basically your standard application. You just fill out your information. You say which park you want to apply for, or if you want to apply for both. And then on top of that, you also show how much interest you have in all of the roles throughout the park. So that's going to be things like attractions and merchandise, the food and beverage roles, hospitality, all the good stuff, Once you're done, you just submit it, and that's whenever the first waiting game begins. So it probably took me about 2 hours before I got my first email, and that was just a standard thank you email. I was really relieved, it wasn't like I was in submission or anything like that, which unfortunately a lot of people get put in that, but thankfully it wasn't me. But then my phone went off again after I got that email, and that's when my heart broke. I was put in no longer in consideration again, and it was one of the worst feelings. I just started questioning everything. Maybe I'm not right for the program, maybe I'm not right for the company. It bothered me though, because I knew the last time I applied, I got the web-based interview, and my application was the exact same, so it didn't make any sense to me. So, I went home. I guess I did a little bit of digging around on the Facebook page, and I found out that you have to wait a full 6 months from the last web-based interview because your results are still saved. News to me. I guess I didn't pay attention to that last time, so I was like, great, just my luck. I suck at life, basically. So by the end of the night, my mom had convinced me to just email recruiting. The offices were closed. So I typed out this long message, basically said, I made a silly mistake. Is there anything we can do to fix this? And I was pretty convinced that there wasn't going to be anything to help me. But I got the, I guess, automatic response of, we'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days. So I was like, great, another waiting game. But the next morning I woke up and I had an email from Disney Recruiting, and thankfully they gave me another chance, and they just said to go ahead and call them on March 6th whenever I was eligible again. And let me tell you, I thought that waiting before for anything else was just terrible, but waiting a whole month to have to get my web-based interview was terrible, and I feel so sorry for anybody who's ever been put in submission or anything, because it was terrible. You're on the Facebook page and you see people getting accepted, just even doing their phone interviews or their web-based interviews, and you're like, when is my turn? And finally it happened. But my only piece of advice for anybody who's waiting is to try and stay active on the Facebook page. I know it's really hard, but it'll be great if you do get accepted in the end to have friends. I met my 3 roommates during that time, and I'm so excited to meet them. Honestly, hi Kelly, Alice, Lainey, I can't wait. Anyways, so March 6th rolled around, and of course it was one of my long days of school, so I had to get through all of that first. And then finally, when I had the chance to talk to a whole bunch of people, got put on hold a million times, and the office I needed was closed. So they said call back in like 3 hours. So I called back in 3 hours. And that time, the, I guess, system that puts you on hold and like transfer you to other people wasn't working. So I had to call back the next day. So March 7th rolled around, and thankfully the person I mostly talked to the day before wrote my name down and everything, and I wrote her name down, and she was able to help me so wonderfully on Friday, the 7th. And she got me my web-based interview really quick, and a couple minutes later I got my email, and there it was, thankfully. So of course, by the time I actually got it, I had to go to work. So I had to go through 3 hours of that, and then I finally got home. I was like, oh, I can't wait to do it. One night my family wants to go out to eat. So then I had to get through that. And, you know, I probably got home like 9:30 or 10. So I was like, it's probably too late to do it. I'm probably really tired, but I'm going to do it anyways. So I went ahead and I basically closed myself up in my room and locked myself in here and told everybody to just be quiet and go away. Turned some classical music on and just completely relaxed. Probably went way overboard with it, but who cares, you know. I'll do my own thing. So I started my web-based interview. The beginning was pretty easy, you know, it just asks you simple questions about yourself, you know. Have you ever lived with a roommate? Would you ever consider living with a roommate? Are you okay with moving away? So after that part, it starts to ask you more questions, I guess, to get to know your personality. You know, it's going to give you the option to do disagree, strongly disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. I mean, I really can't give that much advice on that. You have to pay attention to the questions they ask you. I read somewhere that the stronger answers you give, the better, so I tried that. And on top of that, like I said, just really, really pay attention to the questions. They do reword things, and I guess not really supposed to trick you, but just to make sure that your answers are consistent, because obviously that's what they want. You know, I'm sitting there, I'm answering questions, and I'm answering questions, and I'm answering questions, and I was like, oh, when is it going to be over? Finally, page pops up, and I see, schedule your phone interview. I passed. It was so amazing, and I threw my laptop off of my lap, and I don't even remember where it went, but I ran out of my room screaming, and I told my mom and my dad, and we all just kind of celebrated. And then I came back in my room and actually read the stuff that they had, or that had popped up on my screen, and I scheduled my phone interview, and I scheduled it for March 11th, which I will talk to you guys more about that in my next video. So before I go, I do want to address a couple of things and just kind of show some stuff off. I know my YouTube name is Allison Wonderland 1901. I don't want anybody to think that I think the movie is called Alice in Wonderland, because I know it's Alice in Wonderland, but whenever I was little, I told myself that it was Allison just to make myself feel better, because I thought that was awesome. So that is why I chose it. I thought it was creative, so please nobody think I'm stupid. And then 1901 was obviously chosen because that's the year Walt was born. So there's that. Next thing I want to talk about is this chain I made, paper chain, kind of like a countdown. Kelsey Jenkins, she's awesome. I'm going to put her link below because I'm sure her YouTube is 1,000 times better than mine. But I saw it on her Instagram. She made a chain to use as a countdown for the rest of her semester, I guess. So that's what I'm going to do for Disney. So go check her out. I'm putting it below. You're awesome, and I can't wait to meet you. Next thing I want to show off is my mom's awesome, and every time she goes to the store, she buys me Disney-related stuff. So today, I got some bath soap in it. I don't know if you can tell, but Ariel is carved into it, and I love it, if you can even tell. It's so cool. And then she also got me just some hand wipes. And every other time she goes, she usually gets me a bag. This one's my favorite. So adorable. Then I just also want to show off a couple more things. My neighbor makes necklaces and magnets and a whole bunch of stuff. She's very crafty, craftier than I am. And I just ordered this necklace for my cousin, and it's so adorable. It's got Anna and Elsa on it, if you can tell, and that's adorable. And then I also got some magnets for my apartment at Disney World for the fridge. So this one has Anna on it, and then there's Elsa, and then Mickey and Minnie. Belle, of course. I love her. She's so pretty. And then Ariel. She's probably my second favorite princess. And then my last thing is I want to show off my nails, if you can tell. Yeesh, it's so blurry, but I got Mickey and Minnie on them. The last thing I want to talk about is the grocery store in my town. They just celebrated, I think, their 75th anniversary, and people have probably already seen it on Facebook, but they took everything back to 1939, and they had a Mickey walking around. So I got to hang out with Mickey this weekend. It's very blurry, I'm sorry, but I had to show that off. It was really cute and adorable. And Minnie apparently was walking around too, but I didn't see her, so whatever. So I guess that's all for this vlog. My next vlog, like I said, will be about my phone interview, so look out for that. I can't go away without saying go Cardinals because we won our first game of the season. I'm so excited. I'm gonna miss going to games though. Postseason, we'll be there. Anyways, that's all. I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.